With ET a success, Carnegie bought another mill across the river at Homestead. It was a bargain, but it would cost him dearly. Homestead's new open hearth furnaces made it the steel mill of the future. Novelist Hamlin Garland would write of a roar as of 100 lions, a thunder as of cannons, a burst of spluttering flakes of fire. He described fierce ovens giving off a glare of heat and horrible stenches of gases. Everywhere, the deafening hiss of escaping steam. I saw men prodding in the deep soaking pits, where ingots glowed in white-hot chambers. I saw other men in the hot yellow glare from the furnaces. It was a place into which men went like men going into war for the sake of wives and children, urged on by necessity. A man works in peril of his life for 14 cents an hour. Upon such toil rests the splendor of American civilization. The town itself was foul. Garland wrote of great sheds out of which grim smokestacks rose with a desolate effect, like the black stumps of a burned forest of great trees. The New York Weekly Tribune noted Homestead's lack of sewers and drainage. There are deep gutters on both sides of every street, but whenever it rains, the gutters fill up with water which stagnates and becomes covered with green, slimy scum, which sends up odors sickening to the extreme. This was home to thousands. The English speakers with the skilled jobs lived on the hill. They could look down on those they called the hunkies, the Slavs and Hungarians who did the dirty work and lived in the cluttered alleys by the tracks behind the mill. But, like war, the mill forged a brotherhood. The mill was their life, and it would be their children's lives. There is a fascination about the mill, a sociologist wrote, against which even unwilling mothers find themselves helpless to contend. Something else made Homestead unique. Workers ran the town, and through their unions they helped run the mill. The strikes, which had forced the former owners to sell to Carnegie on the cheap, would now be his problem.
Homestead was a workers' town, and the unions, the steel unions in Homestead, were very, very strong. Both the Amalgamated Association of Iron and Steel Workers and the Knights of Labor. Not only were they strong, but they were bastions of, by 19th or indeed by 20th century standards, bastions of inter-ethnic solidarity. And there were a number of workers who had come to Homestead from the greater Pittsburgh area who were distinguished by their commitment to a certain kind of labor politics that made Carnegie and his colleagues quite uncomfortable.
Homestead would become the most famous steel mill in America. Famous for what its workers made: the structural steel for America's first skyscrapers, the armor plate that transformed the Navy from hulls of wood to world-dominating hulls of steel, and famous for what happened when its workers clashed with Andrew Carnegie. To help manage Homestead, Carnegie would rely on a savvy new partner, Pittsburgh coal tycoon Henry Clay Frick. He may have wished he hadn't.